5, 4, 3. Yeah.
All right, we're good to go, Jenny.
All right. Good evening, Richardson area Democrats. Thank you for coming out tonight. Can you believe the number of people that would come out in this kind of dangerous heat? Everybody be careful. Don't drink too much while you're out here. If you're going to drink more, go inside where it's cooler, so you're not going to be, dehydrated. But I am just so happy to see so many faces here that I haven't seen in a while. I think I know why you're so happy and excited to be here tonight. But, let's just say it. I mean, this has just been an incredible month. I mean, a month ago, we were here, and President Biden was still the nominee. It seems like a lifetime ago that we were here talking, and somebody over there said, President Biden has decided that he's stepping down, and somebody else said, no, he hasn't. And that was a Thursday before the Sunday that he made the announcement. And the world has just changed so much. But it's all good. We're not chaos. Amazingly, Democrats are actually organizing. Can you believe it? Democrats are showing up and saying, how do I get involved? And what do I do to make this a sure thing in the fall? And so here we are it's over 100 degrees, I know. And we have folks out here, we have folks inside. Hi, folks inside. And folks on YouTube at home. Thank you all for showing up tonight. Thank you so much. We have got a great program for you tonight, and it's pretty warm, so we're just going to jump right into it. We have got several candidates that are here tonight. I'm going to let them or their person who speaks for them come up and talk a little bit, but as we know, our main attraction tonight is Senator Roland Gutierrez. I'm verklempt that he came up there for us. I'm not going to get emotional about it right now, but it's a big deal that he drove all the way up here, y'all. So thank you for giving him a warm welcome tonight, and thank you, Roland, for coming. We'll start out with Mike Rollins, who is the state. Say it again.
State Democratic Executive Committee.
State Democratic Executive Committee from 32, and he's going to tell us a couple of things about what he's got going on. Come here.
Thank you, Jenny. I asked Jenny if I could have 1 minute to make two quick announcements, so I'm going to be very fast. As Annette said, I'm your committee man for the 32nd Congressional District. Your committee woman is Annette Krause, and she's back there somewhere. Wave to everybody, Annette. She's a precinct chair down in Dallas County. We have we don't want to call it a newsletter, but it's an email list for reports about what's going on in the SDEC. Our first one is coming out tomorrow. If you are a convention delegate or a precinct chair in Dallas or Collin counties, you're already on our list, but if you want to get it, please text me at 214-868-4746 with your email address, and we'll sign you up for it. Again, that's 214-868-4746. So that's the first announcement. Second is we have started a Drinking Liberally group in Richardson. Yeah, let's hear for all the drinkers.
Got some drinkers.
It's not about drinking. It's about getting together and hanging out with like-minded folks, having a beverage of your choice, and eating whatever, appetizers or dinner. We're meeting the first Thursday of every month. We checked out String Bean this month on the second Friday. But we're moving to the first Thursday every month starting in September. Haven't set on a location yet, but if you are interested in signing up for the announcements for that, please text me also your email address for that, 214-868-4746, or look on the RAD Facebook group for information about either one. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Annette, for coming up tonight. Appreciate you both being here tonight. We have got a few people here that I want to acknowledge that aren't going to be speaking tonight. Joe Corcoran is here, is our city council member. Appreciate him coming. Dan Barrios is here tonight, our city council member. And I believe that Arfin Shamsul, there he is. Arfin Shamsul came tonight. He is another councilman, in case you guys don't know. He's our mayor pro tem. Thank you. So thank you, all three of you, for your support with RAD and for showing up to talk with us and just be a part of what's going on here tonight. Thank you. I'm going to jump right into the program part of this, and I'll start with Robert. Robert, why don't you come up and talk for Avery? Avery is running for HD 112, and he will tell you why she's not here and why he's talking for her.
Good evening, everybody. It is hot, so I hope everybody's able to keep cool. Everyone's got a nice cold beer in front of them. My name is Robert Orts. I'm the campaign manager for Avery Bishop, running to be your state house representative for District 112. Listen, Avery is not here right now. She's at a fundraiser with Julie Johnson. As unfortunately, money is the way to play this game, unfortunately. So we're doing our best to keep up with Angie. We nearly matched her on our semi-annual report. Wow. So we are feeling really, really, really excited. And it's from the help of you all. I met some of our donors here just earlier. So listen, Avery is an outstanding young woman. She is a change maker. She is the first Asian American to win Miss Texas. And she is not only making change for herself, she's doing it for our students here in Richardson ISD. 4 elementary schools have closed down, and we are hyper-focused on making sure that people understand that this is a direct result of the work that Angie Chin-Button is doing in Austin. So if you are free on your weekends, if you're free on your Wednesdays, come out and join us for a block walk. We're out in Rowlett, we're out here in Garland, in Richardson, and Dallas, doing the hard work in the heat. We're writing postcards on Wednesday nights. This coming Wednesday, we're going to be teaming up with RAD to do postcards for a bunch of our slate of our good Democratic candidates. There should be some cards on your table with my information on there. Feel free to reach out if you have any concerns, comments, questions, and you want to get involved. Please reach out to us. We are people-powered. We're a grassroots campaign, and we depend heavily on you all. Thank you, Jenny, for having us here. We, again, appreciate you all, and thanks for getting out and voting.
Yes. Thank you, Robert. And we definitely are supporting Avery. She is very likely going to win in HD 112. So we are we're going to have an extra. We're flipping a seat on that one. We're going to do it this year. I want to invite up Mahala. Why don't you come up and talk with us? Mahala is Representative Mahala Plisa. She is the Freshman of the Year last session. She's my representative and my friend, and thank you so much.
I love you. Thank you. Hey, Richardson area Democrats, what is going on tonight? Okay, I think we could do a little bit better than that, but look, you guys, I am proud to be the only Moms Demand Action, common sense, gun candidate, and representative in Collin County. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Can you believe that I'm the only representative from Collin County that trusts women? Yeah. Can you believe that I'm the only state representative from Collin County that is fighting for our public schools? Yeah. It's pretty sad. So we got to get to work. We got to elect more Democrats up and down the ballot because the time is now, you guys. The momentum is behind us. I have been knocking doors, and people that have never voted for the Democratic Party are out and they're voting because they are tired of seeing our teachers being attacked. They are tired of seeing the headlines where women can't get access to basic reproductive health care. They are tired of turning on the news and seeing our communities rampaged by gun violence. And more importantly, they're tired of bullies.
Yeah.
Bullies like Crooked Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
Do you guys see what he's doing right now with the State Fair of Texas? It is insane. Look, I grew up going to the State Fair of Texas when I was a little girl. I loved it. We got a day off school. It was the best. It was my favorite holiday. Because I got to go to the State Fair of Texas. I got to eat my turkey leg. And I got to ride around that spinning thing. And it was like, until I threw up. And literally, I never felt like I was in danger. I never felt like I was unsafe in my classroom. You know why? Because when I was growing up, when I was a little fourth grader at Brinker Elementary, Brinker Bear, we had a national assault rifle ban.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we did that. We did that because we can move mountains. We can move mountains. When we work together, we can move mountains. And I believe that we live in a state where we can protect the Second Amendment and second graders at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that we picked up House District 70 in 2022 has made Republicans really mad. It has made Greg Abbott really mad. So mad that he was on the news a week ago and he was talking about how he was going to flip our seat. Yep. Now, are we going to go back?
No.
Are we going to let Greg Abbott take us back to the 1800s where our current abortion laws are from?
No.
Thank you. I am going to need help. Because last cycle in 2022, we beat $4 million that the Republicans put against us. And trust me, I didn't have anything close to $1 million, okay? But that was because of the grassroots work that we did together, that we were able to beat extremists. And we're going to have to do that work again. Because, you know, some people might have told David to just pray for Goliath. Thoughts and prayers. Don't make a scene, right? But when God tells me to slay giants, I'm going to listen to God. So who is going to help me slay some Republican giants in November? Thank you so much. I am your state representative, Mihaela Plisa, and I am ready to get to work for Collin County. Thank you so much, RAD.
Y'all, she's in Collin County, but she's representing all of us down in Austin. So anybody, you don't have to be in her district to support her, to walk for her. I hope that you'll get out, get in touch with her, and find out how you can be helpful to her, because that seat is crucial and it's under attack. So absolutely happy. Thank you very much for coming tonight. Our next speaker is Sam Epler. I love seeing Sam Epler here. He is, every time he shows up, I'm like, Sam's here. I'm just glad to see you. Thank you so much. Sam is running for CD 24, Congressional District 24, and he's going to flip that district. So.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Hello, Richardson area Democrats. My name is Sam Epler. I'm running for CD 24. But first of all, how great is Mihaela? Can we just get another round of applause for Mihaela? She flipped a seat in 2022. That is what we need to be doing in this state, challenging those dragons and slaying them. So, Representative, thank you for your work. Thank you for everything that you do. And you're an inspiration to all of us. So, thank you, Mihaela.
Yeah.
So, I am running in CD 24, and it is the #1 college-educated district for women in the state of Texas. There are more women in this district that have gone to college than anywhere else in the state.
Wow.
And why do I say that? Because this district is sick and tired of Republicans telling them what they can and can't do. And I'm going to wait for Dart. Thank you, Dart. And so I would be remiss to not say that this is the first week of school in Dallas ISD. This is the first time in 6 years where I haven't been in a classroom or leading a school, and it feels pretty weird. I was a math teacher. I was a principal in Dallas ISD, and the reason I ran for this seat is because one day I was very tired. I came home from school, and I turned on the TV, and I saw my Congresswoman, Beth Van Dyne, advocating to defund the Department of Education. And I thought, man, I just spent 12 hours at school. I'm worried about getting my students a math teacher, because we didn't have a math teacher at the time. I'm worried about getting them to college, or maybe a credential or a degree from Dallas College so they can join the workforce. And I turn on the TV and I see my Congresswoman, who has no experience in pretty much anything, talk about defunding the Department of Education, an organization with $250 billion that helps students go to college and beyond. Probably an organization that she applied for her kids to go to college. That's the irony and the hypocrisy in the Republican Party today. So I said, enough's enough. I'm going to run against her. And I am so excited with the momentum that we have. We are going to flip this seat. This seat is exactly what Texas 32 looked like in 2016. Nobody ran in 2016 against Pete Sessions. Had they ran, we would have flipped that seat. Hillary won that seat by 5 points.
Wow.
I decided that that cannot happen in 2024. So I ran, we won the primary, and I'm so excited that all of you are here today braving the 100-degree temperatures, and you're fired up for November. My promise to you guys is I'm going to work as hard as possible, but I need you to volunteer with me. I need you to get out there. If you live on the western side of 75 in Richardson, anywhere around J.J. Pierce High School, you probably live in my congressional district. If you live in Texas 32, come on over, because I need your help. All right? I need your help. So thank you. And I have to thank Senator Roland Gutierrez for coming up here tonight. You know, I met him during the primary. Nancy Sanders introduced me to you. And I am just so amazed by your energy, your passion, and what you do for all of us. So thank you, Senator Gutierrez. You make our state better every single day, and I'm so excited to hear from you tonight.
Absolutely. All right, we have one more speaker before we hear from Senator Gutierrez. I'm going to ask Sharon to come up and introduce our next speaker to us. We've been teasing you all that he's going to be here, so I want Sharon to get the honor of doing that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ginny, and thanks to all you Richardson area Democrats. I'm so excited to be here tonight to introduce my friend, George King. George is running for the State Board of Education for District 12. I had the honor and the privilege to work alongside George. Okay. I had the honor and the privilege to work alongside George when we opened McMillan High School in 2011. That was the newest school opened in Plano ISD. We're probably not going to have any more new schools open for a while. But anyway, that wasn't the first I knew of George. I had worked alongside his wife, Margie. She was a guidance counselor at Hendrick Middle School when I was there. And his daughter, Peyton, who is now a teacher, was a student. So I am a good friend of the family, both personally and professionally. George had a stellar 40-year career. 40 years, can you imagine, in public education, almost all of that in Plano ISD. He started off as a teacher at Williams High School, where my daughter happens to teach right now. And then he went on to be a principal at, Wilson Middle School, Bowman Middle School, then McMillan High School, and he spent the last 10 years of that fantastic career at the helm of Plano East Senior High School. I'm going to wait to the train. Plano East is one of the largest high schools in the state. It's home to the district's International Baccalaureate program and home to last year's undefeated boys state high school basketball team. So anyway, George was a beloved teacher, a beloved administrator. People loved to work for him. They appreciated his mentorship, his leadership. He was great with the kids. I got to witness that when we worked together, always in the hallways, always in the cafeteria, really engaging with the students, and they loved him. So when he retired, I said, hey, you got a lot of time on your hands. how would you like to run for the State Board of Education? Because he truly is the perfect candidate and the perfect person to represent us on the state board. He has the knowledge, he has the experience, he is a man of great integrity, and he will be a much needed, pragmatic, thoughtful voice on this state board. So I'm really happy to introduce to you my friend, George King.
Thank you, Sharon Hirsch. Appreciate that. So I look forward to coming here next month for the Focus on Education at the RAD meeting, and I will be telling you about my vision for the State Board of Education. But for tonight, in order to sort of tee it up for Roland Gutierrez, I want to share, I was a high school principal for so long. How long was it? All right. For so long that I was a principal when the Columbine shooting took place in 1999. And so I have seen the evolution of school violence down through time. And so I wanted to share a story with you that I think epitomizes where our high school students are at and what the campus culture has had to do to adjust to school violence. So, and by the way, Columbine, 1999, since that time, there has been a 520% increase in school violence incidences in our public school system. So that says to you a lot about the shift in campus climate, campus culture. So fast forward 2018-19, as principal at Plano East, we had just gone through the trauma of the Stoneham Douglas shooting in Florida, the Santa Fe shooting in Texas, and so school violence was raw on students, teachers, school districts' minds. And so as we started that school year, I was intent on letting the kids know, and in fact, us administrators toured through all the classrooms to start the school year to tell of, here's what we're going to do in response to school violence. And we thought we had a pretty good plan afoot. Early on, a young lady in the classroom said, you're forcing us all to wear school IDs. You realize, as a plan to mitigate school violence, you realize, don't you, that most incidents of school violence are perpetrated by current students or former students in that school. And of course, I thought, I bet she's right. I looked it up. She is, statistically, 56% of all incidences of school violence are at the hands of current or former students. And so her point was that clearly school ID badges are pointless in the face of this. And so assuming that she was a typical teenager dripping with sarcasm and wanting to point out the poor planning by the school administration, she went on from there to explain, this is about the enemy is amongst us. This is the world we live in, where a school shooter walks these same halls, attends these same classes. This is my world. And so she related her anxiety. That was an anxiety that you already it was palpable across the campus. A walkout was held. Students were very conscientious about this world that they now lived in. And I know and guys, teen anxiety pre-Columbine was 18%. As of 2022, teenage anxiety is at a record 44%. And while there are many factors that cause that, no doubt central to that is school violence. That's the world these kids live in. And so I think it's important that we pay attention to what youth are saying, which is, I live in a very unsafe world, and I'm not sure you can do much to fix it. And so, back to Jenny.
Thank you so much, George. George is running in the State Board of Education District 12. It's an enormous district. And his campaign has way more to bite off than he could possibly chew. But anybody that can possibly help them out with finances, with block walking, with getting the word out about how important these seats that, I mean, our State Board of Education, y'all, they're going to be, I don't know whether you saw this week, but they met down in Austin, a committee to talk about whether they're going to require the curriculum in Texas to include Bible teaching. And that's going to be, we're going to have to make our voices heard, but it's going to be the State Board of Education that decides this. Unfortunately, even if George wins, it's going to be happening when he wins. It's going to be before he gets seated that they're going to make this decision. These things have consequences. These elections have consequences. And it doesn't matter how, you don't even think about the State Board of Education. But that's the kind of thing that they're making the decisions on for your kids. So please support George as you can. I am now very honored to introduce Senator Roland Gutierrez. He has, I'm just going to tell y'all, I'll tell you a little bit about him first. He first was elected to the city council in San Antonio in 2005. 3 years later, he became a state house representative, and he served there for 13 years from San Antonio. In 2021, he became a state senator. And we are just, it blows my mind that he's also, let me just tell you this, he's also a immigration attorney. So this year, we're doing a different issue every month, and immigration rights was our subject in June. And so I asked Senator Gutierrez if he had the possibility of coming up here, if he might be in Dallas. And he said, Jenny, I would love to. I'd come up there if I could, but I'm going to be on vacation. And I said, well, I'm going to get you another month. And then we were focusing on the right to live free of gun violence. And I said, well, there's one person that I want. And he was magnanimous enough. Y'all, he drove up here from San Antonio today, and he's driving back tonight. So if you would please make him feel so welcome for coming up here tonight. Thank you.
Jeannie, thank you so much. I got to thank the nice lady who gave me my water fan. That was cool. I wanted to come up to say thank you to all of you, a lot of you that supported us. And even if you didn't, we got a great candidate in Colin Allred. We got to make sure we get him in as our next senator. But I wanted to thank Jeannie. I wanted to thank so many folks that helped us along the way. Annette, I know you're out there somewhere. Annette Krause, so many friends from Dallas rather, that helped us along the way. I did go on vacation last year. Joel Monfort, also, by the way, a great friend who helped us in this race. I got to say, yesterday, Joel made me laugh, and he didn't even know about it. He had a picture on his Facebook of Tim Walz, and Tim Walz, our vice presidential candidate, was petting a kitten. And the comment on the bottom, Joel put, he says, when you're famous, they let you do that. So I thought, my goodness, he put a smile on my face. Let me tell you something. Are you ready to make sure that we have the first woman president of the United States in Kamala Harris? I don't know about you, but the guys have had their fair share chances at this thing. It's about time we get a woman's perspective in the presidency. She's going to win. I'm going to tell you why. We're going to talk about guns, too. You know, I know Sam got up here and Mihaela, they're just fantastic. We got to make sure that they win. They're going to win, and Kamala Harris is going to win because she says one thing. She says, when we fight, we win. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of Democrats playing this middle-of-the-road game. We've got to fight them at every step along the way. We've got to fight them on every issue. And yeah, I don't mean pick up our guns or our fists like they say often. I don't mean that the world is coming to an end and we're going to end up in a civil war. No, we fight with our mouths, our voices, our votes, and our pens, and we educate them and say, man, these people don't have your back. If you're a rural Republican in Texas, they sure as hell don't have your back. Because they've screwed you over day in and day out. And they screwed over those people in Uvalde, Texas. They did. They screwed over those kids. And I don't want to spend my whole time talking to you about this moment. I'm a hell of a lot better now than I was 2 years ago. I could hardly get in front of a crowd without crying. You see, I got to know all those families. And they're really friends of mine. I've gone on vacation with a few of them. Imagine that. Taking them out to West Texas, my spiritual place where my phone doesn't work. And gotten drunk with a few of them. And cried a lot. This is so real right now. This thing that we face every day in this nation is so real and so tangible. For me, it changed my whole life as to what I thought public service was and what it needed to be. That's right. I got a little lost in it. You see, I sued the government because I wanted to have transparency so that we can get accountability, so we can get policy change. I lost that lawsuit, but they said, Senator, hey, listen, if you want to see all these body cams, have at it. Just sign this non-disclosure and we'll show it all to you. So I got a hard drive the size of my phone. 2 terabytes of information. Body cam after body cam after body cam of Texas Rangers, DPS troopers, and so on. Now, you just saw the Uvalde Police Department give up their body cams this past 10 days or so. Yesterday, it became news again because they just found a whole bunch of other body cams that no one's seen before, including the district attorney, who apparently has only indicted 2 folks when she should have indicted 20. Or more. She should have indicted Steve McCraw because he was on the phone for an hour and 17 minutes and told no one to do nothing. There are a couple double negatives in there. But that's exactly what happened. No one did anything to save the lives of those children for an hour and 17 minutes. And I understand fear. I get it. But let's be very, very clear what they were afraid of. They were afraid of an AR-15 that travels 3 times the speed of my 9mm. Yeah, I have guns. That's right. I have guns. I store them properly. My kids don't have access to them. And I'll tell you what, I do not need an AR-15, and we need an assault weapons ban in this country. Right. Listen, this didn't happen. In 1994, Mihaela talked about it. In 1994, we had a great president named Bill Clinton, and his wife was really badass too. And she should have been our president. She should have been our president, a brilliant woman, a brilliant human being. He passed that assault weapons ban, and this stuff didn't happen. Not only did they repeal that, they didn't repeal it, they just allowed it to expire, but then they created a law called PLACA. The protection, thank you, Don. They created the Protection in Lawful Commerce in Guns Act. So imagine this. You can sue big tobacco, you can sue big beer, but you can't sue the big gun manufacturers. The same gun manufacturers that advertise to children. Daniel's defense, the gun that this kid bought, they had a toy gun that they would advertise to kids. It's the gun that's used in the video game Call of Duty. It's a Daniel's Defense AR-15. I forget the model number. You're damn right these people are advertising to children. And in this state, these loose Republican gun laws allow a child of 18 years old to go out and buy one of these things like he's buying a Coca-Cola. You can't buy a pack of cigarettes. You can't buy a beer. But you can buy an AR-15. How does that make any sense to anybody? So I've seen all the videos. I've seen all these kids, and I'm not going to get you down into that moment. It changed my life because I've seen images that I cannot unsee, and I see them every night when I go to bed, and I see them in the morning when I wake up. And I told you I'm better now. But I can't unsee the image of a little girl whose face is gone. She wasn't the only one. She wasn't the only one. This is what we're up against, this incredibly powerful gun. But I also saw another video. A video of a young man going into the only gun store in Uvalde, Texas. And if you've ever been to Uvalde, how many of you have been to Uvalde? It's a small town in central west Texas. It's not, you blink and it's gone. One gun shop. The kid goes in there on day one, a few days after his 18th birthday, buys an AR-15. His uncle takes him. The next day, his uncle takes him again, and he buys hundreds of rounds of ammunition. Not to mention the hundreds of rounds that had been mail ordered to his house. On the third day, the uncle takes him back again. And he picks up his internet-bought Daniel's Defense AR-15. Explain to me how in the world that nobody thought that this is some kind of significant event. Now, even in Florida, where they're kind of conservative too, I guess. Even in Florida, they have something called a red flag law. And it happened after Parkland. And every cop and every sheriff and every police chief in Florida will tell you that's the best thing we ever did. Because when you see a kid that comes into a shop in small town Texas, buying a gun, next day buying ammo, the next day picking up another gun, by God, that's a red flag. Yep. It's a red flag. And that damn uncle of his, you know, God love him, I guess, because he went off on TV the other night and he says, well, I called the police. Well, yeah, you called the police 20 minutes into the shooting. I get all that. That happened this past week. That video came out. That audio tape from the 911 call. I get it. And, Uncle, we appreciate the fact that you called and you tried to talk your kid down, but you should have called the cop a week earlier. The store clerk should have said, Sheriff, there's something wrong here. And so not only do we need an assault weapons ban, but we need red flag laws in this country and in this state. And we certainly need to raise, if we can't get an assault weapons ban, then by God, raise this age limit to 21. Yeah. Raise an age limit to 21 or even beyond on this kind of weapon. This kind of weapon was made for war. That's it. I was never in law enforcement. I didn't have a chance to go to the military. I didn't go to the military. But everybody that I know that's been into the military, including Chloe Torres' dad. You remember Chloe Torres? She's a little redhead girl covered in blood. She'd survived. She was the one that was calling the cops. Come in here, please. My friends are dying. That little girl knows every rule to handling a weapon. And every person in the military will tell you that what happened there was wrong, that we need to change these laws, and we need to do it now. We need to do it fast so that this never happens again. I'm going to close up on guns in a second, then we're going to talk about how we're going to win. Yeah. Because we got to talk about how we're going to win this race in Texas and beyond. I'm going to talk about this one last thing. We deserve to be free. We deserve to live free. We deserve to live in a state without this kind of apprehension, trepidation, fear. How many of you still go to the grocery store like I do because you want to grab your vegetables and feel them? Yeah. You got a few people. My wife likes to do the Instacart and the what's that other shopping thing called, where they deliver your Uber and anyway. I have all these people delivering my food. I always complain to her because I do most of the cooking at home. I complain to her because my avocados aren't ripe and so many other things. My bananas are too yellow and so on. But every time I do go to the grocery store, I'm looking around. When I go to church, I'm looking around. When I go to the mall or the movies, I'm looking around. And I'm looking for the exit, and I'm looking, how am I going to get out of harm's way? How am I going to get my kids out of harm's way? What am I going to do to help the person next to me? That's the new world we live in. How many of you think like that now? Just about all of you. Just about each and every one of you now lives in this new world order created by Republicans and their loose Republican gun laws. I'm here to tell you that we can live better. That we can live in a state where we can actually not have to worry about those things if we had safe, responsible gun laws. And we need to do that. Now here's how we're going to win this November. Here's how we're going to make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. And if you think, because so many of us, there's so much negativity, oh, we can't win Texas. The hell we can't. We can win by fighting. But there's a mathematical equation to this thing. And it was shown to us by a guy, and I talk about him all the time, named Beto O'Rourke. I know you like him. I like him too. Beto got Ted Cruz within 2.5 percentage points. Within 200,000 votes or so. Imagine that. And as I campaign in the primary, and still now, because I campaign for Colin often, I tell people this one thing. We can change the world if we just find one extra person. If you find one kid that says, my vote doesn't matter, my vote doesn't count. Those guys in Austin or Washington, those men and women, they don't care about me. Nothing changes. You have to look at that kid. And you have to grab them by the ears. And if they're a kid like mine, and you need to get them to do something, you just take their phone away. And they will fall in line. And when they complain some more, when they complain to you and they tell you on the way to the voting box, my vote's not going to count, nothing's going to make a difference here, you got to tell them this. Because you didn't vote. Because you didn't participate. 19 kids and 2 teachers died. That's true. That's true. We've tried to create gun safety laws in Austin over and over and over again. So here's the hope for the future. Here's the hope in Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. The hope is if we work and we do our job and we go get that one extra vote, that neighbor that hasn't voted in 40 years or that kid that just doesn't want to vote, if each one of our party faithful goes out there and finds one vote for Mahala Plessa, she wins. If each one of us goes out there and finds one extra person for Sam Epler, he wins. It's really that simple. And the hope is, like the last time we had a wonderful female governor in this state by the name of Ann Richards. By the way, we share the same birthday. It's coming up. The hope is this. When Ann Richards was governor, it was fantastic. Our infrastructure worked. Our roads worked. Our hospitals worked. People got health care. Kids were educated properly. Everything worked. And things functioned. And people got along. And we treated each other better. Now in the camp of the others, where they play that game about the others, that it's us versus them, that zero-sum game, I can tell you there's only one group that wins, and it's a whole lot of rich people that make a whole lot of money. Hell of a lot more money than all of us here put together. They win. They won 4 years ago because the only damn thing that Trump did was a tax bill that paid off his rich friends, and the rest of us got a pair of sneakers. We deserve so much better than that. We deserve a country and a state where we have an Office of Gun Violence like this President Joe Biden did, that is staffed and run by Kamala Harris. She does. She runs the Office of Gun Violence Prevention in Washington. The first time any president has ever done such a thing. We will have, fully and finally, legislation to protect women's reproductive rights in this nation, because we must. Because when Kamala Harris wins, that means Sam Epler wins. It means Mahela wins. It means we push back against the madness, and the madness, they finally start to say, well, wait a minute, we've gone to a bridge too far here. We need to come back to a world when it's not us versus them, but a world where we all work together to make sure that we have great fast rail in this state. To make sure that kids get small classroom sizes. To where we stop talking about voucher plans that simply do not work because they've not worked in any one state. Where we finally take a state that doesn't blame some poor immigrant looking for a dream for every health care problem, every education problem, an infrastructure problem, because we know better. This thing on the border, come on. We know better. We know better. And we need to start talking to people that these poor immigrants aren't the cause of the high cost of the lemon that you buy over at the H-E-B. It's called one thing, and it's called corporate greed. Free market capitalism. And we're getting screwed. And we're getting screwed. And so we've got a lot of work here today. But our work and the hope for a better day and a better tomorrow in this state and in this country starts here. And it starts by you recruiting not yourself to vote. Hell, I know you're going to vote. You've got to get 1 or 2 new people to vote. That's how we will win. That's how Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States. That's how Mahela wins. That's how we stop this madness. That's how we get rid of, I'm going to say it, this asshole Ken Paxton. If there's kids here, I'm sorry. But he is an asshole. I mean, this is how crazy they are. I promise someone I talk about this. This guy, there was a shooting at the state fair last year. Not too long far after the shooting in Allen. And these people want to double down on their insanity. Because remember what I told you. To them, it's all a quotient. It's all a zero-sum game. 19 kids in Uvalde, Texas, to them, they're expendable. 2 teachers, they're expendable. Korean family, immigrants at the Allen Mall, they're expendable to them. You had Ted Cruz when they had the shooting in San Jacinto, in Texas. He says, well, there you go again. Those immigrants are out there killing people. You gave them that gun, fool. Yeah. We sell 4 million of these goddamn guns in this country every year. It is insanity. I'm going to tell you one other race. Michelle Buckley. I'll tell you why that's important. The guy she's running against, he makes AR-15s for a living. His name's Bumgarner. The first 3 words of his name are accurate. He is a bum. I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to play nice in the sandbox, but I'm not so nice sometimes. Because in the end, if we're going to win this thing, we got to fight. Because when we fight, we win. I want to thank you all so much for giving me this time. Thank you for having me. We're going to make sure that we win together. But you got to get that one vote. We're going to do this together. I appreciate y'all.
Man, thank you, Senator Gutierrez. Wow, that's what I was going to say. Like, so what do we do to win then? And he didn't let me ask. He just went ahead and told you.
That's it. I mean, listen, Bethel showed us the way.
Yeah.
And he keeps doing it.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so how many of y'all are signed up to write postcards? If you haven't signed up to write postcards, David, would you please stand up? David Santucci is running a postcard party on next Wednesday, and then starting in September, it'll be every week. If you want to write postcards, there's going to be lots of postcards there from different candidates, from RAD. Please get in touch with David, and he'll get you hooked up with that effort. How many of you are signed up to Block Walk? All right, we're going to need to see more hands. Come on. You're going to have to get out and get on the doors. If you can do the doors, you need to do the doors. And talk to your neighbors. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to talk to these people. We're going to explain to them quite common sense wise why they should be voting for Democrats. It's important work. Mahala needs walkers, and Avery needs walkers. Next weekend, she's going to be out walking.
Every Saturday until Election Day.
That's right. Thank you, Joe. Next Saturday. 12 Saturdays left?
Till Election Day.
Wow. Next Saturday, on the 24th, we are going to be at the park by my house. It's Custer Park. And that's in Joe's district. And we're going to be meeting there to walk for Mahala in my neighborhood. So y'all come on over. Please get involved. Please come have some fun. Do some good work. Sam is walking every week, and Avery is walking every week. We've got people that are doing this work, and we need to get out there and support them. If it's not your thing to walk and knock on doors, then there's plenty of places that you can give $5, and these things add up. So please get involved. One more thing. Is Zach still here? Zach he's back there in the back. He's got Harris Walls signs. So if you want to get a yard sign for your yard, Harris Walls is back there. We've got Mahala signs. We've got Avery signs. We've got Sam signs. We've got George King signs. If you guys, please, it's time to start getting the signs out. So, somebody said, Jenny.
Postcard funding.
Yes. I'm being told by my board that I need to mention that we are raising money for our postcards. So we need we've raised about $1,250 toward the $4,000 that we need to get out. So if you can donate towards postcards, any amount helps. Please get with us. It's in my newsletter. It's on my website. It's everywhere. Mari, what you got? Oh, yes. Is there anybody that's going to be going down to DCDP? We've got some postcards that can go. Somebody filled out her postcards. Raise your hand there. and needs to get those down to DCDP. So if you'd get with, there we go. Okay. Thank you. We are, in case anybody here has not heard this yet, we are having our next event is going to be, we're not having one on the last Saturday because that's going to be Labor Day weekend. We're going to be out walking and knocking on doors, right? Yeah. That's right. And but in September 21st, RAD, the Richardson area Democrats, we have the honor of hosting Representative James Tallarico. This is going to be our Save Public Schools rally, and we're going to be at the Richland College, and there is a 450-seat auditorium. So that's a good place for you to bring your one more to come and talk about public schools. Everybody, all your neighbors, cares about their public schools. So bring them. They'll get to have an opportunity to hear our great candidates on stage talking about how they can make a difference and bring this kind of legislation to both the state and the nation. And we're going to get to hear James Tallarico talk to us about the need for fully funding our public schools. Let me think. Is there anybody else that has something that I have forgotten tonight? I always try and make my notes and then I leave them. So please, anybody that has another, if nobody has anything else, I am just going to say, you guys are troopers. You stayed out here. I appreciate you coming tonight. Sheena King came tonight. She's the chair of the Collin County Democratic Party. Thank you for coming tonight. And let's do this. We've got work to do. We're just ramping up. Thank you all.